All right, could I have everyone to sit down, please? I know some of you are rushing for the school bus, so let me, finish this also very, very quickly. All right? So, let's go to the next question here. Okay, this question here is basically giving you a type of a curve. Now, what sort of a curve is given to you here? It's a cooling curve. Be very careful. All right, it is a cooling curve. Not wrong to say it's a temperature curve, but it is a cooling curve. So, this here is another way of them to express. So your ideas of state of matter, the movement arrangements will all come into hand. All right. So, having said that, let's go to the first one. Identify whether it absorbs or loses heat. Which one do you think it is? Loses. Now, that will be part A1. How do you explain your answer from A1 that it is losing heat? The temperature is decreasing, or the temperature is going down. You need to refer to the diagram and see. Come on. It is not difficult. It's very straightforward. You just have to think, because the diagram here shows you and displays it. Okay. Next. State the physical states of the substance in PQ, RS, and TU. All right. This here, PQ. So, you are starting from the very end. You're starting from the top, right? And you're going down, it's getting cool. So PQ, what state of matter do you think this is? Gas. It's in the gas phase. Because here, this is giving you a clue already. Right? Gas starts to condense, and you know that you're going down to liquid. What about here? Condensation complete. So RS, what's RS? Liquid. Very good. So you can see how it goes according to the stage. And what's TU? I hear talking. No one talks. It's because of people talking, you're delaying others. All right? So everyone okay with this? Okay. Let's go on to question number 4. Now this question here was taken out from the first test that you had done. Many of you got confused how to draw it. But I want to mention to you, if you're given a question like this, there is one concept that you need to know. Now, some of you had drawn the lines as well. The lines is just to indicate that this part here is brass and this here is iron. Now, from the question it says, brass expands more. So, any metal that expands more will curve in or curve out? It will actually curve out. So, this here's a heating element. Now, a lot of you tend to join it. You don't join it. Why? Because you're trying to stop it. It's an iron. You want it to go on forever and burn down the house. It's possible. You're all sadistic people. So mean. Alright, but anyway, how do you draw it? When you draw it, don't worry, you're not Picasso, Leonardo. You're just SISB students. So draw it down this way. And then what do? You need to label. So this here would be your brass and this would be your... That is how you need to do. Oh, I just missed this little head here. Alright? Sorry, for those who can't see, right, this is it. Okay? Very sorry if I had this poor quality. Does that make sense? Alright? So the concept here is, any metals which can expand more than the others will curve out. Alright? When it contracts, where does it curve? In. Alright? If you remember one, you remember the other. Okay? Alright, let's go on to question number 5. Alright. Guys, There will be a graphing question, so I want you to pay attention. I've taught some of you, and I taught at least 3/4. So for the Wordsworth, you might want to take it down. It's worthwhile knowing it. Dry mix. All right? Dry mix is the key word. Teacher, how do I remember dependent, independent, x-axis, y-axis? Hello, this is the way. That's why I like to teach your shortcuts. Dry mix. You got to remember dry mix here. Stands for dependent. Dependent variables are basically responding variables. Something that you are measuring. And you draw it on the y-axis. M is manipulated, you change it. M is manipulated, you change it. I means it's independent. And you draw it on which axis? X. That's it. Alright? So, in your question, they have given you very explicitly what is drawn on the y-axis, what is drawn on the x-axis. Priwa? Right. Now, could I just let all of you know? Yes? Oh, M is manipulated, means you change it. Alright? It's a different way. I manipulate, I change. Okay? Okay, so in this case, you got your x-axis, you got your y-axis. Right? Now, your x-axis here, according to the question, is what variable? Time, right? And it should be in minutes. And your y should be your temperature. What's the unit? Degrees Celsius. And you need to write down your title. Now, I'm going to give you a warning here. All of you have never gotten 6 full marks because you always forget your title. I want to forewarn you here. If I see one person who has no title, question?
The title do we pick ourselves or what?
No. Okay, good question. Shh. The title, you write it based on what the question wants. Here you're talking about temperature of beaker and drew over 25 minutes. That's the title. Alright, simple. Okay? Sorry? No, I'm not going to repeat. If I go straight, please, I go straight. See me after this, Jackie. Any questions? So you all know what to do for this? If I see anyone with an empty title, Amy, you know what's going to happen, yeah? Yes? Huh? I'll ask you to write down. I will not forget my title 25 times. Alright? That's what happens when people sleep in my class. Okay, can I have your attention, please? Just the last question, then I can let everybody go. Listen. Okay, question number 6 here is basically, again, one of the questions which I picked from your test because I need all of you to understand. If I have 2 suggestions here, how you can prevent heat lost from the house, you have to choose one. You're going to ask me, teacher, what happened if I have 2 suggestions? I wrote everything. My reaction, I go for the first one. So you need to go for a suggestion which you are very confident with. Okay? So, double glazed windows. Right? If you chose this for suggestion 1, you get 1 mark for choosing the suggestions. And 2 points for, I repeat, 2 points to support your answer. Now, double glazed windows. What is the key word? Trap air. You got to remember. Trap air. Excuse me, the rest of you, if you want to come over and take over, that's fine. you must have the concept of trap air, because trap air is basically what? Is it a good insulator or a poor insulator? It is a good insulator. So, trap air here will not be able to conduct your heat, alright? Because remember, your gas particles are all far apart. They're all randomly moving around. So therefore, for the ability for it to transfer heat, that's a very, very 0.02%. It's very low in terms of passing it around. Does that make sense? So trap air, and you must mention poor insulator. Now the next one, if you choose a cavity wall insulation, not many of you have chosen that. But if you look at the concept, Sidayu, would you want to give me the answer? Alright, cavity wall. So, polystyrene foam, what is it? Conductor or insulator? So, insulator, what does it do? Prevent heat transfer. Thank you, Emmy. That's it. You have 2 points there. Polystyrene foam is an insulator, does not allow heat to be transferred. So, even when you have the brick, right, the brick walls, from the outside, you have heat conducting inside, you will not be able to conduct because your polystyrene foam here is an insulator. Alright? So you got to think about that step. Any questions? Alright, now listen here. I will update all of you by classroom. I'll speak to teacher Ivan for his class as well. On Friday, we will be going through the ecosystems and ecology in terms of different questions. The same thing, I will book this place. Excuse me, I'm not done yet. We will go through the ecology and also the food chains, the same concept. If you're not here, don't worry, it's all recorded for you, all right? Rest assured. Now, before you leave, this is a very strict rule, and my classes will know this very well. I want all tables to be back to where it belonged, and the chairs inclusive as well. All right? Thank you very much, everyone. Can everyone thank teacher Ivan as well too?